What you cooking?
Welcome to Lend Me a Fiver podcast, where we have conversations with successful people who have had successful journeys. First and foremost, I'm going to ask that you subscribe to the channel, follow the page, and just ensure that you get the regular content and you have the regular people coming on here and speaking about their journeys and what they've done. And please feel free to comment and mention what careers you want to see, so we know who people want to hear from, and we can get that out to you as a priority. I want to welcome today's special guest, Weruche Opia. She's a star actress, featured in a number of films, TV series, including The Bill, which is a classic for me. I had no choice but to watch that one. Top Boy, which is everybody loves a Top Boy.
Gang.
And most recently, the hit HBO and BBC TV show I May Destroy You. And I'm just going to say it got 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. So anybody who really does this film thing, like, because I don't just watch any...
Point of correction, it was 98.
Ooh, give it that 1%. But listen, yeah. Anyone who does this like film or TV show review properly, because I don't just watch any garbage, yeah.
Okay.
I have to get the Rotten Tomatoes review.
So you trust Rotten Tomatoes?
I trust them, and they're harsh. Like, sometimes, some of the reviews I read and I'm just like, wow, that director is rolling around in his bed right now. But 98 is so impressive. It's just unreal. The Guardian gave it 5 stars and actually said they believe it's probably the best drama of the year. So, I mean, those types of accolades are unbelievable. Recently featured in a number of publications, Elle magazine, Vanity Fair, Vogue. I mean, you really ain't here to play, you know.
God is good.
God is good all the time. So you really didn't come to play. But what I would say is I think there's a number of people that really want to, I think, acting and becoming an actress or an actor. It's one of those careers in the spotlight that seems exciting, that's very glamorous. So I think let's start with kind of just understanding your background and how you got into it and your journey to date.
Okay. Well, I have always kind of acted, informally and formally, if you call school acting formal.
As in drama?
Yeah.
Okay, drama class. All right, fair enough.
So I did drama. Like, I think my earliest memory of acting was when I was about 4 or 5, and I forced my sister and my cousin to do a performance of Humpty Dumpty for my mum.
Oh wow, that's impressive then. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy that stuck in my head. And I remember I was directing them and telling them what to do, and they were I bullied them into it basically, because I remember they didn't look very happy, but I was in it. Yeah. And when we were done, my mum clapped and was like, "Oh, go and get some Smarties. And congratulations, here are your Smarties."
Oh wow, that's a decent award though, isn't it?
I know, right? And that was my earliest memory. But from then, I was like, throughout primary school, I was always involved in all the school plays. Secondary school, did drama GCSE. At college, did performing arts.
And what school? Where were you schooled? Was it London?
I grew up in Nigeria and moved to England when I was 13.
Okay.
So I did drama all in Nigeria and here as well. Okay. Went to college, did performing arts, Christ the King in Lewisham.
I actually went there.
Yeah, we know you went there.
I just want to put it out for the record. I was. Yeah, I wasn't very serious.
I wasn't very serious either.
But here we are.
Hold on, did you get kicked out?
No, I can't. They can't. No one can. No one can beat me out of anywhere.
There. You didn't finish your A-levels there.
No, I moved because I wanted to be serious.
No, you never. Where did you go?
100% Orpington.
You went to Orpington to be serious?
Yeah, 100%.
Liar.
Listen, they can't kick me out of anywhere.
You got kicked out.
It's impossible.
A lot of people got kicked out after first year.
I'm unkickable. I am like a steel block. You can't kick me.
So do you feel like you went and
It was a personal choice. No.
So what are you talking
about? No, but Christ
then?
King definitely had more distractions, believe
100%.
me. But because
Orpington
was just like, guys, Christ was just
girls.
I mean, you said it, you know. You said it. I tried to be serious.
Woo!
I tried to be serious.
I remember.
I tried to be serious, but you know, here we are.
Well, that was a crazy 2 years for me myself.
So university?
University, I studied drama and sociology because I was like, I wanted to act, but I didn't know how to get into it. I didn't
Okay.
know about drama schools
Okay.
and all that stuff. Where I was almost to the point of not even taking my A levels because I was like, what's the point? I'm going to act. But then I remember I had a conversation with my uncle and he was like, yeah, but how are you going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know.
So you did drama in Christ as well, yeah?
I did drama performing arts.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're literally
in-
seasoned. And so it was for you then. It was so you knew from a young age you enjoyed it. It was a
Yes.
passion. You enjoyed
I knew it was
doing
something
it.
I enjoyed and something I was good at.
Okay.
So when I decided to do it at university, I chose the subjects that I enjoyed
Yeah.
and was good at.
Okay, makes sense.
Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to university and fail. So
Fair.
you pick what you're good at.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's a good. I mean, that's some good
I
advice
mean,
there.
it
right?
worked
Yeah,
for me.
for sure.
Although my drama degree, I did a joint degree of drama and sociology, and my drama degree was actually terrible because we barely did any acting. I think I did 2 or 3 performances in the whole
Paper
3
coursework.
years, just a load of essays.
Wow.
And what really made me upset and made me frustrated was that we would read these plays and then you'd be asked to give your analysis of the play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd have these lecturers and teachers telling me that my interpretation of the play is incorrect.
But how can it be incorrect? It's your
Because
interpretation.
art is subjective.
Yeah.
You
And it's
can-
also your interpretation, right? So,
My interpretation. So it wasn't very nice. And obviously I wanted to act. And then I was there doing stage management stuff and like having to put together sets for plays. I was like, that's not my business.
Yeah, of
I want to
course.
be
You
on
just
the
wanna get there
stage,
and do it,
not
yeah.
behind.
yeah.
So that was basically rubbish.
Did you finish? You finished degree?
I did. I got a degree. Managed to get one.
And what uni did you go?
I went to University of the West of England in Bristol, UWE.
Okay, Bristol. Okay.
Yeah. So that was good.
Was it a good time though, in terms of the
yeah.
period of your life?
It was a good time for me. Right before I went to university, I got saved properly.
Okay.
I found Christ again. And so my life had just changed before I went to university, but I think that was the perfect way it could have worked because I don't know what I would have done at uni.
What if you were saved?
Oh, I don't know. We thank God for Jesus.
It's one of those. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
So it worked out, and I went to uni, had a good time at uni. Also was able to, concentrate on the work, and my faith as well grew while I was at uni.
Was there a church in there? Yeah.
Yes, actually, I remember I went to this church and I joined the choir.
Jeez, what you can sing or you just
Only for Jesus.
Okay, you're a backup singer then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say I'm a backup singer. I lead worship at church.
So you can sing.
Only in church.
So you ain't about to drop a couple bars for us, right?
It's not gonna happen.
I'm joking.
I'm telling you, it doesn't even work.
Oh, why did
If
you
it's not
still?
gospel, yeah.
Because I'll be real. At home, I'm a rapper, like a real one. Like, I don't think no one can hold me back. I am hard. In my house,
But you're
I'm
not going
hard.
studio for studio time.
They ain't ready for me.
It's not gonna.
They ain't ready. They ain't ready
Is
for
it
me.
really? They're not ready, or you're not ready for them? Who's not ready for who?
They're not ready. All right, but that's good. So you found, you got serious in terms of religion, etc.
Yeah. And then got out of uni, and when I was at uni, started a clothing line, Christian clothing line called
So
Jesus Junkie.
entrepreneur early.
I mean, it just came, and I had a good support system. And then started that at uni, and then when I graduated, I had plans to do that full time.
Okay. And so what made you do that though? Was that a financially driven, or just to get clothes? Was it the clothing?
It wasn't financial driven, neither was it fashion driven. It was completely faith driven.
Okay.
So while I was at college, a lot of the time I wasn't in college because I was off smoking weed somewhere. So I had quite a rough 2 years in that time, and it almost set me off completely in the track of my life. And so when I came to Christ, I felt like it was a exchange. So the clothing line is called Jesus Junkie, and so I felt like it was the replacement of the addiction to drugs. Now addiction to Jesus.
Okay.
Hence the Jesus Junkie.
That's dope. I'd rather be addicted to Jesus. Sure.
And I think I had gone to there was a church program, and I think there were so many people coming, and they were like, oh, people should just come for one day, but it's like a 3-day program, and I went for every single service. I was like, I just can't get enough.
Wow.
And then the fact Jesus Junkie came into my mind, and then I think I had lunch with a friend of mine at the time, and I was like, we could just say it would be good on a t-shirt. I was like, yeah, it would be, isn't it? And then that's where it kind of came from.
Okay.
Printed off a few, and then printed off a few more, and then it just snowballed from there. But so when I graduated from university, I came out, wanted to do that full time. I thought about doing masters in business admin and in e-commerce.
Well, that's to support the brand.
Exactly, because I was very much into, wanted to push it as far as it can go. But not only was it just the fashion, it also has some rehabilitation stuff to it. So I'm also have a passion for people who've been affected by drugs. And so I do, and that's part of my, plans, philanthropic plans, to work with people to help them, people who've been affected by addiction. So I had planned to go completely into that whole field with Jesus Junkie.
So whilst this was happening, though, did you just pause acting?
Yes.
Okay.
But then I graduated in June, July, and then I think by September, I'd come across this part-time drama school, Identity School of Acting. And I was like, okay, well, this acting thing's always been in me. I at least need to try it, do what I think I can. And if it works out, it works out. So I went to classes from September to December, and we had this review session. And I remember on my way to the review session, and I was praying, and I said, Lord, I love this acting thing, but if it's not for me, let me know. I'm going to know this is the path you want me to go through in my life if I get there and they ask me to join the agency. Because I didn't even know about all the agency stuff and how you get work.
When you say they asked you to join the agency, was that so when you go to the school, you have to the school puts you into the agency?
So the school has an agency.
Okay.
If you're good enough, they'll
good.
sign you to be a professional actor.
Okay.
Other than that, they just keep training you. And every time after, I can't remember how often, but you'd have a review session. But if you're that good, they'll join, ask you to join the agency.
Okay.
So I was on my way there, and I prayed that prayer, and I said, Lord, if they sign me to this agency, I'm going to know that this is where you want me to go with in my life. And I got there, and it was a class of 25 or 30 people. I don't know if anyone else got assigned to the agency, but I did that day. So I remember walking out thinking, this is it.
So your kind of like peers and the people you were with, you didn't even try to even like, hey, by the way, I made it.
No, I couldn't because
I
I didn't know that's why I said I don't actually know if anyone else was signed at that time because I was just so stunned because of the prayer I had prayed on my way there. I said, if they sign me, then this is what. So I walked out thinking, this is actually what I'm going to do with my life. I've asked and I got the answer almost immediately. And from there, that was when things kicked off. Months later, that's when I did the bill.
Wow. So that agency got you into the bill within months?
4 months, 4 or 5 months. This was like a December thing, and I got my first job in the April afterwards.
And did you have to audition? Or?
I did have to audition.
Okay. What's that like?
It was terrifying.
So that's surely your
it
first
wasn't
audition?
My first audition. It was my second or third.
Okay. And those kind of what was your first audition? I think we need to hear that one.
Audition,
that's the epic one.
It was
unforgettable.
For a play. It was at Soho House, a play that would have been in Edinburgh, a site-specific play about a girl who'd been trafficked from Nigeria to Scotland, and it was going to be done in a flat, so it would feel like an actual thing, which is why it's called site-specific. And I went into this audition. And I think there was a lot of movement involved, and I'd never done any of that, so I felt really stupid.
Well, they told you what you had to do, yeah?
I just got there, and they were like, are you ready? Are you okay to do some movement?
Yeah. Did you have words, a script, or...?
No, it was
they don't give you the script before?
They do. On a normal audition, you get the script. But that one was an improv session. Because I think my agent knew I was Nigerian, and he knew I could do Nigerian
accent. It made sense. Yeah,
so
for sure.
just go and do this.
He doesn't get any prizes for that one.
Like, don't do no makeup.
That one.
Don't do no makeup. Look like a village girl. I was like, okay, I can do that. And I went, and it was just... I think I did a great job. I didn't get the job, but I was just so thrilled that I was having the opportunity to do this as a profession. So I remember walking to the theatre. I remember the session completely. I remember it. And I just left, and I think I cried because I was just so overwhelmed.
Okay, just at an audition.
Just the audition.
Wow. So, when did you get the decision?
Normally it takes about 4 days, 3 to 4 days.
And so the decision, even though it was negative, didn't knock you back. It was just more of a, wow, this felt good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's drive there.
I mean, definitely you need to have this kind of skin in this industry, because even I've been in the game now 10 years. This is my 10th year. And
10-year game.
I still get upset sometimes, especially when I really want it.
But again, I think with most things though, it's but I guess you all kind of continue.
I think it's a lot more with acting.
It takes a lot
We
of
do
time.
hundreds of auditions a year.
Yeah, hundreds.
So no joke.
Wow, like that sounds like on a bi-weekly basis.
I do at least 2 to 3 a week.
Is there that many productions?
Yes.
Fair enough. I'm like
all over the world. We're
I guess
all over the world.
Okay.
So I get a lot of tapes from here and in America.
Okay.
So you can imagine. Let's not forget how huge the States are,
huge,
and how many networks and how many streaming platforms there are these days. There are new ones that are coming and going. Like.
Okay, so a bit of a sidestep. So you would consider moving to the US and kind of breaking.
100% is the plan.
Okay, cool.
Hollywood. Who don't want to go Hollywood?
I don't mind. I'm joking. I'm joking. I said to you, if you get me a Suits audition, where Suits 2.
Suits is actually shot in Canada.
Harvey Specs.
It's shot in Canada. Are you going to Canada?
Right, Ross. Anyway, I need to be. Give me my suit and that. Then we'll be back. Okay, cool. So you got the bill, which, as I said, for me, that feels like part of my childhood because my mum had a schedule, man. She would be like, oh man, I think it's like after school times.
Neighbours.
There was is it
away.
Neighbours? Oh, you know the whole route. You know the whole thing. That's it. And I think she did Brookside, Coronations. She done the whole gaff. Like I was like, this woman is dominating the TV. There was no balance. You know, you got to balance. Like let the kids get in. No, she had it back to back until she then did EastEnders, then the Bill, and then the Bill was the end of our. Okay, mum's gone now.
Okay.
That was so the Bill was a good show for us.
Yeah.
Because after we could take over. But obviously you kind of get into the shows, you kind of know the characters and so on. So the Bill has always been a part of the childhood. So that was a big one, which is one of the films. Because I know you've done a number of productions, but I called it out. So the Bill, and then how many, I'm not going to say how many, but because you probably haven't counted. But then from then on, were the roles coming up slightly more frequently? Or?
No. So the thing about the industry is there are always, like everything in life, the ups and downs. So I think after I did the Bill, I did a few like little theatre things, and then I went to Nigeria for 1.5 years.
To work?
Yes, it was initially to work, but when I got there, it didn't work out. And my mum lives out there sometimes, most of the time, and she was like, oh, just stay, do your youth service. And I was like, well... Technically, I could, so I just stayed there 1.5 years. I was doing some acting there.
So like Nollywood films?
I do have a few Nollywood films under my belt.
You gotta Google those ones.
They're on Netflix, by the way.
Oh, chase. Okay. I was like, Google, you're like Netflix, you're premium.
I've got about 4.
Okay.
This
I'm
is
gonna
most
tune
humble bragging I've ever done.
That's calm. No, that's calm. You gotta get out there. I'm gonna have a look at those.
I've got a few Netflix things.
But something like The Bill, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a soap that's like, I always say those types of soaps. I mean, The Bill hasn't. I don't think is it still?
No.
Okay.
I was in one of my episode was in the last couple.
Okay. Because technically, those shows you can get a long run out of if the show continues, right?
If you're a regular, yes.
Okay.
So I was only a guest lead.
Okay.
So I just had the one episode.
Okay.
But soaps are, they are. I think a lot of people, I've heard this saying before, that soaps are launching boards and burial grounds for actors.
It's like a 9 to 5.
Yeah. And I know people who have, gotten their lives from soaps. But it's one of those ones where you go in there at the beginning, and this is what I've heard in the industry. People go to soaps, stay there for a while, build your name up, build your finances up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And then if you do want to do other stuff, then you bounce.
Yeah. Or
you can be in the world and whatever, and then when you're ready to wind down on a soap.
So my interpretation is this is interesting as well, because I think with soaps and shows like that, right? Mm-hmm. People, it's like a bit of a catch-22 because people start to identify you as your character, right?
Yeah.
If you're there for a long period of time, like Harry Potter, right? So
yeah.
And it's not soap, just for the record. I'm not silly. But like Phil Mitchell, right? But so, for example, you have someone like that who's mainstay on a TV show, been on there for a while. So that could work in two ways, right?
Yeah.
If that's Phil Mitchell, he could be great for this role, or it could
Yeah.
be that's Phil Mitchell and I can't look past that.
That's the truth. That's the catch-22 of
So
it.
you look at Idris, like he was on, for me, one of my favorite. It's not really a soap, but
It's a
like
show.
TV shows, right? With The Wire,
I've never
legendary,
actually seen it.
legendary.
I'm
It's
ashamed to
just
say it.
it's just one epic. But at the time, I thought it was American.
We all did.
So kudos, because I was like Stringer Bell when I found out he was British. But when I watch it now and I know he's English,
It doesn't. Can
I'm
you
like,
hear it?
I ruined it for myself.
Oh,
I ruined it, man. He's just like me, man, with an accent, man. He ruined. I feel like that knowledge ruined it for me. Because before I couldn't see past it. But also with not knowing every kind of American accent, Baltimore it's unfamiliar state for me, or city for me. So it's like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm not really sure how they speak. Right?
Yeah.
But okay, cool. So you were in Nigeria.
Yeah.
For a period, and did you enjoy it like there or?
It was good sometimes. It was stressful sometimes.
I haven't been to Nigeria in so long. It's actually shameful.
Oh, well, you should have gone pre-NSARS.
So that's a fact.
But you might be. I'm hopeful to say that post-NSARS will be a good one for you to go. I mean, Nigeria's always fun for me now. But then again, that's because when I go, it's mostly a holiday. But you know, like everywhere, it's got their pros.
100%. Yeah, I mean, people who visit London on holiday are probably like, Big Ben,
Exactly.
look at you, big you.
No, we don't
But
even care about.
Then you have to start paying council tax, and you're like, big flipping Ben. They need to knock it down.
Dead it.
You're like, if that's what I'm paying for a clock. I'm paying for a big clock. Get rid of it.
Take it all down,
Get
mate.
rid of it. So yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. So you're there for you were there in Nigeria
For a year and a half, and then I came back to London to continue my career that I started.
Okay, so acting, yeah. So you were like, I'm gonna go. You knew from when you left
100%.
Nigeria, this is what I wanted to do. Okay.
Yeah. So so I came back and auditioned for about 11 months.
11 months worth of auditioning.
11 months of no work.
Wow. And how many auditions would you say roughly, just for the record?
Then I can't count.
Wow.
I would say 50 as a base number.
Damn. See, that's perseverance. And you took all of those knockbacks and
L's.
kept going.
All those L's.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it sounds all idealistic now, but it was definitely torture.
I can't imagine. I mean, so I would say your everyday person after 15 to 20 is
would
done.
give up.
They're done, 100%.
This is it. So it takes it's more than just a personal thing. I had a very, very, very strong support system where even
from they were just like mentally helping you push.
Yeah. And I had friends who would also help me financially as well, because and that's one thing I do regret, actually, not having a regular job while I was chasing the acting, because there's this mentality where you're like, I don't want to get into something because the next job is coming, and you feel like if you do have a normal job, you'll forget your passion. But I think now there's a balance where you need to have a life at the same time as you're waiting and working towards what you want, which I didn't do, and I regret that, because I could have enjoyed my youth even more.
So it's okay. So it's people are able to juggle it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing it every day now. I have a friend who's an investment banker at Goldman Sachs, and while he works during the day, he's got a production company. He's churning out mad content, and he's like one of the biggest inspirations for me, because I'm like, I don't even know how he sleeps.
Damn, he's double dipping.
You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, you can have both. You can do it. It will be a lot of work, but if you know where you're going.
She suits part 2, you know. Hey,
you better get your acting classes together.
Hey, watch your shoulders though. Oh, it's mad. It's mad. Okay, cool. So you've come back 11 months.
No work.
What was the break? And I'm assuming, but you had your faith in this time, right? So you're praying continuously.
Yes.
Okay, so
praying continuously. Having to clean toilets to be able to afford classes at the same time.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was that was definitely a moment. I remember when I was given the opportunity to clean, to go to class, I was so happy.
Oh, so they said to you, if you clean, you can come to class?
Something like that.
Damn. This is a real story.
So I was helping out basically. So
Yeah,
like, you know, when you'd get a discount kind of thing.
Yeah, okay,
so
fair.
I was really happy to do that. And then I booked Top Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And even that was a mad one too.
So that was your 11. That was the break.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I remember I had when I went Top Boy, the first one came out. I was in Nigeria, and then when I came back, I watched it all, and I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, good show.
And then when I had the opportunity, I was like, "What, Top Boy? Oh my god, I'd love to be on this." And that audition was quite special because I remember that agent at the time was like he called me and he was like,
Same agent?
No.
Okay.
I've moved agencies. And he called me and he was like, right, they didn't want to see you, but I've bullied them to get you in. When you go, no makeup, wear a tracksuit, like
Gangster.
put it down.
Gangster
I was like,
thing.
trying to say I'm too pretty for this job.
Sometimes you gotta grind it out.
Sometimes you gotta do. So I remember I went there like proper like hooded out and tried to be a hood girl. And I remember there was this person on the train and there was a newspaper next to me. And this guy gets on the train, he's sitting opposite me and he's like, he pointed at the newspaper. So I was just like, I'm about to hand it to him and something went, get into character.
He said that?
I said it to myself.
Oh, okay, damn.
So I gave it to him and I went, next time, asking it.
Jeez.
And he went,
Gangster, love it.
all right. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed. All I wanted was the newspaper. I said, yeah, but you're rude, innit? Why are you just using your hands? Can't you use your words? And he was like, sorry.
No, I beg no girl do this thing on the train. I'll be confused. I beg.
And I remember sitting there
confused.
thinking, oh my God, in my head, I was thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I kept up. So I sat there and I screwed my face the whole time. And he would look at me and like look away. And I was like, shit, this guy actually thinks I'm a gangster.
Please, nobody use me for an audition like this, man.
And he was just like,
I'll be confused for too long.
And he looked through the newspaper and he shut it. And then when he was getting off the train, he was like, sorry, yeah. I was like, yeah, fine.
Oh, you switched it up. You allowed him.
I was trying to be like, I'm so sorry. I was just like flexing or something. But he'd gotten off the train and I was like, I can't believe. Imagine if he turned around and socked me in my face, like sparked me. What would have happened?
You chose the right target.
It was mad.
He passed you. You chose the right target. It's good. But because for me, I'll be so. I think I'll just be so shocked. I'll be like, huh?
It was because it was out of nowhere. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah,
and I mean,
fair.
that was a crazy story.
So, but then did that give you confidence for the audition? It did,
because then I walked into the audition. I walked into the room, and normally, as an actor now I walk into the room as myself and I introduce myself and whatever, and then when we say action, then I become the character. But I remember when I was younger, I used to just sometimes, however I felt, I could walk into the room as the character. So I walked into the room and I was like, it was good. And the casting director was like, okay,
okay,
just you ready to do this scene? I was like, yeah, let's do this, man.
Jeez.
And then we did the scene and they were like, okay, any questions? No, I'm good.
You're getting me now.
And
Still, I'm even like,
okay,
you're gangster still.
Let me know. I was like, yeah, thanks. And I walked out. I was like, oh my God, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Well, I got the job.
Yeah,
It's like,
dope. I mean, you convinced me, boy.
I mean,
I'm a bit like, does she want my phone? Like, she's trying to rob me.
I'm not gonna say always do that, but it was just like, getting into it, learning.
That's good.
How to just be in it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Although I don't do it now. I don't know if it'd be bizarre if I did it now.
So do you think that was that approach, because you only done it a few times?
Yeah.
Would you say that is a recommended way of doing things?
No, because then it did work against me another time.
Okay. They just were like, you ain't even acting. You're just a nutcase.
No, they just were, it was an audition for an American play, and I walked in and I'd met the director before, and I walked in as an American and just carried on talking, and then I left and I got a phone call from the agent then, and she said, I don't know what you've done, but the director called and found it quite bizarre that you came in as an American. Can you just go in normal next time?
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think it's good for them to see that.
This is what I was upset. I was like, as
difference.
a director, you should know exactly what I'm doing.
So again, I'm no expert in this game, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it would be amazing to see a person who's this transform into this. Because there are some actors, and it's no shade, that this is this. Like,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson is forever calling to find where his daughter
Somebody's
is.
lost.
Every single film,
Somebody's
I'm
always
like,
lost.
just give him his daughter, man. We've seen this like he's on the 8th film, man. Give him his daughter, man. Put the posters out, get this daughter to him.
Hold on, you know, I can't actually. I think I've only seen Taken. How many Takens are there?
There's 3 Takens.
It's
However,
now.
I'm telling you, but forget about it. So listen, you can be taken and taken. Like we understand. They keep taking your daughter.
Did he always find her at the end?
He got her back, but
Is it the same girl every single time?
I can't even.
Can you imagine if it was the same girl every
But
single time?
he's a gangster in that film. So I just feel like, okay, when you move on, you've progressed. Taken is no longer.
Yeah, but
Please
know
find
what?
a new guy.
If it works, it works. And that's also
Well,
the
clearly,
thing.
yeah, because he keeps getting
This
shows.
is the thing. So there's always the argument between the industry, the business side, and the talent side. So the craft and the business. Now, if Liam Neeson is known for his always finding his daughter,
that approach, that like,
as a business person, you're
It
gonna
makes
keep
sense,
on
yeah.
churning them out.
yeah, fair.
But
Okay.
as an actor, it can work against you.
Okay.
So it's always that.
And just on this,
reality.
actually, because I've always been intrigued by this, right? So, accents.
Yeah.
How do you, what's your kind of technique for mastering them? Or do you just not, so for example, your US roles, do you try to adopt an American
I
accent?
have an American accent.
Okay, so okay. I'm like, shit, you gone gangster again. Okay, American,
Yeah.
London, like you just switch it up whenever necessary.
100%.
How did you what do you use to kind of perfect that?
I'm blessed to have a natural knack for accents. I grew up with a lot of American TV. And I went to an American school when I was like really small. So there are still some things, even in my everyday language and pronunciation and vernacular, I use the American pronunciation because of that. But I do watch a lot of American TV. I have an knack for accents. So if I'm listening to an accent over and over again, I get it.
Yeah.
I did a play, I think about 4 or 5 years ago, called Liberian Girl at the Royal Court. And we had to be Liberian. And I had a few people thought I was actually Liberian, but I'd never actually heard the accent until I Googled it. So I would go on YouTube and just have our the YouTube shout out YouTube, and I would just play like Liberian accents.
Wow.
Like,
So you can hear it and adapt and adopt it. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So that's again, that's a gift that
Like
I know that I have.
so we're talking hours worth of.
Yeah,
accent.
it's just in the background.
Wow.
And it just comes naturally.
That's dope.
And then the more you practice it.
So you've got a good memory.
Only for scripts. Can't tell you what I had yesterday for dinner.
Because I was gonna say, man, my memory is whack.
I know.
I'm asking myself sometimes, wow.
Who are you?
Wow.
Who are you?
Don't do a memory test, you know.
I know.
You'll
It's
flop.
crazy. My actual memory is goldfish.
Even if they gave me
memory.
suits too, I'll just be in there like, can I have a board? I'm like, I've got
The
nothing.
dummy boy.
Because you remember
But you know,
you
everyone.
have cues on prompts, right?
Yes, you have a continuity person who, when you mess up your line, will tell you what the line is.
And they just edit it.
No, you get the line right.
Okay, so for example, I'm gonna say, my name is Richard, and I'm here for a sleepover, whatever. But that's the line, right? But say for example, I'm like, my name is Richard.
You go again.
Oh, from the top.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That could take forever if you keep forgetting like into like one
That's
paragraph,
why you
2
better know
paragraphs.
your job. You better know your lines before you come on set, sir, because I'm professional.
Yeah.
But that's it. So and I think that was one of the things that was a shock for me starting like acting, especially TV, was the number of times you'd have to go over. It's
Because of you or just the people,
everything.
everyone on the set?
So imagine you're in a scene with 7 people. That's the whole day. Just know it's done.
A scene, like how
One scene. So imagine let me say the worst. This is the worst case scenario. I hate them. Dinner scenes with 7 people.
Is it
Done. The whole
like
day.
a 5-minute clip?
The whole day.
Is
It can
it?
take less. It'd be a 3-minute scene.
Wow.
You're there the whole day because you have multiple camera angles. You have the food action. So there's somebody, if you pick up the fork, you have to pick up the fork the same way at the same time every single time you do it. And they're going to do a close-up, a mid-shot, aerial shot,
Nah.
2 people in the shot. I can't believe I forgot what that's called. I need to get back to work.
You're not selling it to me.
It's a lot of work.
No.
You see it on TV. Like I May Destroy You was how much? It was half hour. 12 half-hour episodes. I can't do maths unless it's money, so I don't know how many hours that is. 6 hours total. 6 months we took to film it.
But it's good.
I mean, yes, but then there's a lot of work that goes
100%.
in behind it. Like, think about the scenes where Arabella and Terry were high. Those were really fun to do.
A few times. I was gonna say, I'm like, I'm sure I've only seen I haven't seen the whole thing, but I mean that seems to be regular.
It was a regular occurrence for the characters.
Yes.
But those, like, imagine doing those over and over again. I mean, and that's only because there's 2 of us in it, so it's better. But when there are more people, it's longer, because if you make a mistake, if you hold it the wrong way, if you mess your words up, you're going over and over again.
It's not for everyone, basically.
Basically, no. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of work. And so we all see the finished product on television, but the blood, sweat, tears, and repetitiveness that goes into it.
Okay. So, no, that's dope. That is pretty impressive stuff. So we go, and I've never even heard this side of it. I'm a finished article guy, man. Just give me the Hollywood, man.
Must be nice.
I want to see the. I don't want people to be repeating the fork picking up. I can't. I'll be like, boss, I'm out, man. Show me when show me when the fork can be picked up any way you want. It can be picked up.
No.
So all right. So we got Top Boy, which I think was amazing. I think there was a lot of success with Top Boy.
Yeah.
And then from that, because again, that was like a fixed period.
Yes, that was, I think it started shooting November or December till about April or May the next year. So that again was a big period. I wasn't in all the time, but obviously they were shooting.
But do you get paid? So do you get paid a? I don't want to hear numbers, but you're just like, I know you ain't. I'm just gonna say, just in case you're like, where's this guy going? She's about to switch to the gangster again. No, but
they pay for your time, yeah.
No, but so is it like, so it's not you feature this when it ends, one fixed fee, or is it based on how many times you come, or is it based on how many times you are shown in a show?
It's based on how many times you're on set. So every week you're on set, every time you're on set, you get an engagement fee.
Okay.
So they add all the time up.
And that's regardless of the role?
Yes.
Okay. So I seem to believe it was some sort of like, we're signing you up deal, and then that one fee covers you throughout.
But it does cover you throughout the whole time. But then I guess if you're on set more, if it's more time for you. So imagine me and you are in suits, and if you're Harvey Specter and I'm oh my god, I've forgotten Megan's.
We're calling her Megan for now because she's Rachel Zane.
Rachel Zane.
She's hold on me.
So she's married.
It's a joke. Oh my gosh. Plus we're talking about in the character. We're talking about the character.
Anyway, so obviously Harvey Specter is going to be on set more than Rachel Zane. So he's going to get a longer engagement period. So if I'm coming in for 1-2 episodes, obviously I'm not going to get what a person who's working 12 episodes is going to get.
Fair. So, but he's also the star character.
That too as well. So there are many factors that come to it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, who you are.
Bear in mind they literally continued the show without her.
I mean, come on. It's how many seasons in now? So like
no, it's finished now, but yeah, there was.
It?
I think once she got royal, she switched it up on them.
I mean, but
switched it up on them.
I don't want to do this no
She's
more.
She's like, okay, guys.
I'm an actual princess.
She's like, okay, guys.
I gotta do this with y'all.
Okay, guys. So about season 5.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Buckingham Palace.
Please send me WhatsApps. I don't answer them personally, but
I shall have my ladies.
But Jeff can figure it out for you. You know? All right, so cool. So
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So Top Boy, post that, did you have a period of little break or?
I think I probably had a short period, and then I had Bad Education.
Okay.
The summer after Top Boy, I believe. Summer after Top Boy.
So, but do you feel like the more roles you've had, the easier it is to get a role?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Based on your track record, or
yes.
based on you're better in auditioning?
All of those. I mean, practice, obviously, and then there's obviously the fact of relationships that you build with industry people.
So networking is key in this game.
Yes and no. I'm not a networking person. I can't say that I will go to a party. I don't know how to schmooze. It's.
I love it. I love it.
Thinking about it.
I love a good network.
Do you?
I'll be in there like, hey, Idris.
You should come.
Yo, my guy. He'll be like,
you should be an actor, mate.
Stringer B. He'll be like, by the time you know it, we're talking about something.
You should be an actor.
We'll be talking about something.
I don't do well in those situations. Not too well. I mean, once there's a relationship, then I can vibe. Not saying I'm a hermit.
No, that's fair.
But
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's everyone's got different characters.
I let my work
Do the
and
talking.
glad and hope, gratefully, my work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So when people have seen me in, I think Bad Education was it was a variation of my Top Boy character, because from seeing me on Top Boy, they knew that I could do the attitude black girl thing. So I kind of carried that on, but then that did work against me in some point, because then all the roles that I was being put up for were attitude black girl, and at that point I was getting tired of it.
So I guess that happens, right? It's like, okay, we just think she'll be
100% typecast happens, and then I had to actively be like, I'd rather not go for that audition, or I'd rather not do that, because I don't want to be labeled, stereotyped, and typecast in that specific role.
Like Liam.
Like Liam Neeson.
Basically, yeah, that's fair, nice. But it's easy to do though, isn't it?
This is what I'm saying, but then is it challenging enough for you? Are you fulfilled as an actor? I have a range.
I like the range.
Do you know what I mean?
People with range are like, come on, Dan, my guy.
Can do anything.
My guy.
My guy.
Guy, man. Sometimes he just does it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm in the movie like, that's my guy. He's like, with the, you
This is what I'm saying.
with me.
It depends on what you want.
It
depends on what the person wants. I mean, it's the same thing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But for me, I want the range.
The range is the way to go.
I want the ugly roles. I want the hard-hitting drama ones. I still want the fantasy. I want the sci-fi. I want the superhero. I want the Nigerian indigenous ones. Everything. I want all of it.
Yeah, that's good. So, but also it shows the talent, right? You're not kind of just like keeping it.
I mean, if it's what you want, but again, not knocking anyone who wants to keep it simple. If that's what you enjoy and you do that well, kudos to you.
Yeah,
but I want to flex a little bit.
Okay, cool. All right, so now fast forward. So we're gonna fast forward because I know you've had a number of productions in between. Exactly, but so most recently, how did that I May Destroy You come about? Because I guess that one is, I would say, in terms of, so I don't know, I haven't followed the reviews and haven't much, but I would say it's, as far as its breakthrough in terms of the it's just so real, right? It's very raw, in terms of some of the things that are happening. And again, I'm no expert, but I was just like, wow, this is just a different this is a different show, right? And I enjoyed it for sure. So, but what made you either go for that, or how did that come to your table, and what was your kind of process behind that?
So I went through the regular audition process. Agent called me, said I've got an audition for Michaelacoel's new project, and I had recently just seen her in Black Earth Rising, where she didn't write it, but she starred in it as the lead. Okay,
so when you say so they pitched it as Michaelacoel's project, but she didn't. Did she write this?
100%.
Oh,
she wrote it, executive produced, directed, starred.
She don't play.
She collected all the checks.
She don't play. I did not know that.
She did everything on it, so she's getting multiple nominations for
She really
everything.
ain't come to play. Wow, she's
not.
talented.
I mean, it's her story as well. It's actually her life story,
is it?
her experience, where she was sexually assaulted and had to piece it all together.
It's deep. It's deep. It is deep, isn't it?
She's managed to take that traumatic experience and make it into something that benefits her and so many other people. Yeah, 100%. Which is quite very commendable. So I was told it was her new project, and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I'd seen her in Dark Earth Rising. Just as an actor, she was enchanting enough then. So I went for the first audition, and was kind of like, all right, cool. Second audition, went in, met the casting director and the director, did it again. All right, cool. Left. Then the third audition I had with Michaela and the director and the casting director.
So do you have to do well in each audition to be called back?
Sometimes. I mean, I know of people who've had 8 auditions until they've gotten a job. I think my max is 6 and I didn't get the job. So it's like weekly I was going back.
Do they like? Does that mean they like you, or they just want to know more?
They want to see. They're not. Sometimes it depends on the director as well. Spike Lee can do he does about 8 auditions.
So you've auditioned for Spike?
I have an audition for Spike.
Man using the name, he's like Spike, like my nose.
I met him, but I haven't auditioned for
enough.
him. But I had heard a friend of mine had worked with him, I think, and he had to audition about 8 times until he got the job. And everyone has their process.
I think audition 6, I'm like, bro, do you want me or not, bro?
It gets to that point. Some people will be like, no, I'm not going for it anymore.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, but it depends on if you want it. So when I did 6 auditions, I wanted it. I still didn't get that job.
Yeah, that's fair. That's an investment of time, isn't it, as well?
It was, and that's what it was quite
so
annoying.
Yeah.
It was quite annoying, but I did understand that they wanted to see, and everybody has their process.
So actually, this is the good question. Do you ever look back at the shows you've auditioned for the character you auditioned for and go, oh, that person got it? Does that ever happen to you?
100%.
And should we go into that?
No, I'm definitely not naming no names
Okay,
or no projects.
fair enough.
But there have been times where I'm like,
that's a snaky when I'm on.
I'll be like, thank God
I'm like,
sometimes I'm happy I didn't get it.
okay.
Because
you didn't like the outcome, okay.
Well, I'm like, oh, that sort of bullets
Okay,
that God
fair
dodged for
Okay.
me. Like,
So
dodged
yeah, it's
bullet.
God's plan then, yeah?
Exactly. But then other times when I see people who got it and they smash it, I'm like, yeah.
Okay, you were supposed to. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I like that.
they did a better job.
Okay, that's
or
good.
that's their role.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's never.
Because you hear that sometimes that's their role. Like,
Yeah.
the person just fits.
I mean, that's how I've heard people describe my role in I May Destroy You. When I spoke to Michaela about it, she was like, she said to me that I am the Terry she envisioned in her head. And I was like, that's wild.
The chemistry is dope though.
And that was crazy. So yeah, when we did meet on the 3rd audition, I remember I walked into the room and I had met Michaela once before, briefly, when we was filming Top Boy, because she was on Top Boy as well. But there were like loads of us in the room.
Did you have a relationship? Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, we just had like general chit chat.
Okay.
So I walked into the room and Michaela's a very engaging person where when you're there, she gives you all of her attention. So she was just staring at me the whole time, smiling. I was like, good?
No, you can't. I hate that. I'll be real. Michaela, you can't even do that to me. I'll be real. No, because for me, when people stare...
No, but it's not creepy. It's just engaging.
Yeah, some people love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be seen. So I was fine with it because I mean, we were there for that and she was completely, in the room paying attention. So I walked into the room and she was just looking at me, and then we did the scene and it was just so natural. There was this chemistry, and then we had a chat afterwards and it was just like completely calm. And I remember walking out and I was like, that was mad. I felt like I'd been on a sick first date. And I was like, yeah, I'd see that person again. That was cute. So we did that, and then I didn't hear anything.
This is the audition after audition 3.
After audition 3. And then I think about...
And was she just watching or actually acting with you?
She was acting with me because the scene
yeah,
was the both of us.
Okay, cool, perfect.
The scene is actually in
That's a lot for her as well, isn't it? She's got audition for every single audition. She has to do the role over and over again.
If the character is with her, because the scene that we did was for Terry and Arabella, which are the characters. So obviously, yeah. But if it was like other people who didn't have interaction with her character,
she would watch. Okay.
She would have just
Fair
watched.
enough. Okay.
But she was in the process where she chose everybody.
Wow,
She saw everyone and decided who was who, and So I didn't hear anything until about, I think, 3 or 4 months later.
Months.
Where I was actually on set in the States filming a pilot for a TV show. So I remember I was on set and my agent called me and she was like, you've just been offered Michaela's show. Jeez. And I was like, oh my God. But I didn't even realize how big a deal it was because I had not seen the script at that point. Didn't realize that my character was playing her best friend and would have such a significant role in it.
So you get that reaction every time you get a show?
Yeah.
You're like, celebrate.
It's like the first time.
Oh, dope. I like that.
Every single time it's like the first time.
I mean, you still love it.
I mean, yeah.
It's literally like,
Who
I feel
doesn't
like
a win?
Yeah, that's not 100%. No, but just in terms of like, it's not really, doesn't feel like work to you, right?
if the job is great, if I engage with it, if I really like the project, it's not work.
Okay.
There've been some jobs where I've wanted to tear my eyes out and tear my hair out, but there've been other jobs where I've just been like coasting and chilling.
I feel if you love it and you're getting paid, wow, like
this is a dream.
Please someone give me my lucky dip. It's dope. Like, you just landed on your feet, right? Think about it, because even if you're the richest person in the world, you still have to occupy your time with stuff you want to do. So if you can occupy your time with stuff you want to do and get paid for the privilege, why not, right?
That's a win.
Okay, so that's pretty dope.
Win.
Okay, so there you are. Amazing show. All of these. So did you know, because I guess you get to see the finished article first.
Yes.
Did you know that it was going to have the impact it did? Like, did you watch that and go, this is unbelievable? Or were you like, oh, it's a good production, but you just couldn't foresee where it was going to go?
I mean, I knew it was definitely something special when I read the script, even before we got into it. Watching it, I can't say I felt that. It was definitely brilliant to watch, but then as an actor and being in it.
Is it awkward to see yourself?
It's not awkward, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, you love it. Because that's like me. I'm about this TV life. I'm about that. They want to put me on show, I'll be like, that's you, sir. That's you.
The first thing you watch is, because for myself, when I watch things that I've done, I watched it at least 3 times. So the first time I'm not paying attention to what's happening. You watched the same
episode 3 times?
Yeah, whatever it is. The film, the episode, because I need to see. First time I'm going to watch it, I'm just watching my face and watching how I critique my physical appearance. That's dope.
So you're learning from your own performance.
Second time, I'm still I'm more like critiquing my acting, like all that decision you made there. And then the third time is when I can actually enjoy it. I've only watched it twice, so I haven't watched my
from start to end. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched, because my first time I watched it with like rough cuts, because you have to do like the ADR, which is when if the line wasn't recorded properly on set, you'd have to go into a studio, or because of Corona, I did it from my bedroom under my desk.
Wow.
Would have to record the sound bites while you're watching clips. So we did get rough cuts, watched it, but then it wasn't all together with the music and all that stuff. And then so I watched it that way, and then when it was live on telly, I watched it with my mum, with everything together. But then it was still
How did your mum find it? Because it's a bit gritty, some of it. Yeah, some bit. She might be like,
the mad thing is, my mum told me to take the role from the get.
But I'm sure, did she know it was to
100%. She knew exactly what was around.
Okay.
And she said, at the end of the day, it's real life.
It is.
And as long as you're comfortable doing what you're doing.
And you're acting, I guess.
I mean, yeah. And so she was like, you're telling a story that needs to be told. And so long as you are fine in yourself and, you don't feel compromised, you're good.
Okay, cool. That's supportive.
Yeah, I mean, watching it and reading the script, it's an important story that needed to be told. And I think as a black woman, and the cast being black and all the issues that are in it,
yeah, of course, I
was like, I need to be in this history. Okay. Is how I felt.
So you still need to watch it a third time?
Yeah.
Enjoyment. Pure enjoyment.
If I can.
Okay.
It's not even one of them shows that you can just like completely enjoy.
No, honestly, but I watched it. I think I got into it. Like,
did you watch the whole thing?
Okay, so what's random is I was traveling and I saw a random episode just came.
Really?
Yeah, it was on. Because on HBO as well, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was random. Like, those random ones. But I watched it. I think I watched the episode and I was like, oh, that was.
Can we just let everyone know that I'm being forced to drink champagne?
No force.
I'm being forced to drink champagne out of a mug.
I love how you're trying to put this on me.
It's a lend me a $5 mug. So I'm just gonna.
It's on brand. It's okay. It's always on. It's okay. But so I watched it and I was like, but I think it was where
what
it was.
It?
Because but I don't want to spoil. I don't want to do a spoiler alert.
I mean, it's been out.
I mean, people may go and watch it, but anyway, it was far along where it actually shows you what happened to her in the toilet.
Okay, well, flashbacks.
The actual where they trap it, they set him up.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, that's the last 3 episodes.
Wild, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there going.
That's the last episode, actually.
But I just jumped in, so I'm like, damn, this is wild. You get me? So then obviously, when I reversed it to kind of just start it from the beginning, I'm getting the build up. So I'm still kind of on like maybe episode, which is why it's awkward because I'm like, random episode,
Yeah.
which
and then
tells
all the
me what
way
happened.
back. Yeah.
And then early on, right? So, but yeah, I just think, I would say, but I enjoyed it in terms of like, it's a different perspective because obviously women go out all the time and this is real life. There's guys
100%.
out there on that kind of predator,
Predators.
like, and it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like obviously any guy who feels like, because they don't have to experience it, women go through that on a regular basis as they go out, right?
100%.
So,
And I think
it was
it's, for me,
insightful.
it's more impactful because the victims, and I don't like to use that word, but the people who have been, been assaulted are black.
Mm-hmm.
We rarely see that. We have this, the narrative of black people always being strong, black women being these.
I mean, they are pretty strong.
We are pretty strong, but we're also vulnerable.
Yeah.
We also deserve to be looked after, to be cared for, to be allowed to be vulnerable. When have you ever seen a black woman raped on TV apart from slave things?
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? But it happens.
Yeah, of course.
But society, cultural things, you just kind of sweep it under the rug, or you'd be like, yeah, be a strong black woman, keep it moving. No, but you need to deal with these things.
100%.
We need to see them because they are a reality. And saying that, that's one perspective, but it's not just specific to black people because these are experiences that everybody has, regardless of your race or your gender. People that are assaulted. So it's been one of those jobs, one of those projects that have done a lot more than I thought it would have done in the sense of, bringing this reality to the forefront, people having these conversations. A lot of, the consent chat and sexual assault, like, okay, you haven't finished it, so I don't want to spoil it. But there are some things in it that I learned from, that I didn't know were classed as sexual assault. And a lot of conversations are being had. I have like friends who called me. I had a friend who called me and he's I wouldn't say he's...
Is he making a confession?
No.
I was about to say, what the...
He's not... I wouldn't say he's road, but he is kind of road. And he called me and we had a chat for a whole hour where he was like, nah, you know what? This is mad, I had to call all my boys to be like, you man need to watch this thing. Like, and that really touched me because I was like, this is going beyond cultural walls. Do you know what I mean? It's not just the cool Shoreditch pink-haired people. This is everybody's understanding it, and people are having discussions, and people are hopefully checking themselves. So I remember that was a very poignant moment where he called me. He legit had we had a discussion
Wow.
about the whole show.
No, it's
Where he was like,
no, it's
no,
deep.
you lot did. He's like, no, you did a dope job,
No, it's
Like,
deep. It
I
is
called
deep.
all my boys. Like, one of my friends, she called me. She's like, you man need to watch it.
You man.
And I was like, this is incredible because
Yeah.
it's educating while somewhat entertaining at the same time. So I think it was a brilliant job done by Michaela, and I'm honoured to have been a part
No,
of
it's
it.
dope. So I think you touched on it briefly though, but
Yeah.
but what would you say, kind of, especially as a black woman, the challenges are in the kind of film and TV industry? Would you say, like, is there anything that you've personally experienced that's quite challenging?
Did I make that noise
Yes,
out loud?
you did. Yeah, you did.
I mean, there are the issues. It's wild to say this, but black women, a lot of the time, and we've seen this globally, generally have been treated bottom barrel a lot of the time.
As in in terms of roles.
Everything.
Okay.
And it translates into that as well. I remember there was a time where my male friends were constantly auditioning for roles for
Black and white.
majority black, were auditioning for roles, and there was there were no roles available for black women in the UK, more specifically. Every time I'd go for an audition, I knew all the girls in the audition room, all sorts of skin tones. So they just say generic black girl, and then you have the mixed race girls, the light skin girls, the dark skin girls. So we're all going up.
So I guess the director
same...
has in their mind this person's gonna be white, so therefore.
Do you know that was also a factor, but this was, again, things have changed and things are progressing and they're getting there. This was like when I first started off, so maybe in the first 4 or 5 years, we were having those serious issues. I think it was a lot of starvation where there were not that many roles for black women.
So do you feel now that directors are more and more kind of saying, I need a woman who does this, versus I need her to be from this background, this origin. Etc.
Sometimes that works. Sometimes it works for, sometimes it works against. Because if you're trying to tell a specific story from a specific viewpoint, that needs to be the skin color needs to be a factor. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't tell a story of the black plight without a black person. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, well, a white woman playing that would be wild. It would be wild. That would be wild.
Talking about discrimination about your hair and the way it looks,
that's fair,
coming from it won't work. So there are the colorblind auditions, but then again, it then goes.
There are actually things called colorblind auditions.
They're not called that, but that's what they are.
Oh, okay.
Because there will be like 30s. The description of the girl is there. Okay. And they're not specific on what race they are. Okay. So there are those opportunities.
Okay, that's good.
I've one of my theatre jobs I did at the Old Vic. I don't think it wasn't race specific, because when I was in the audition room, there were a lot of different looking girls looking there, and
I guess there's more people going for it as well, right?
Yes. So those ones can be a bit wild. Sometimes it works when it's like race specific. Sometimes it doesn't at the same time. Because again, most of the themes that are shown in these shows are general themes that transcend race.
Yeah. So I always picture like auditions as some like line round the block. Is that real life?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, those are open castings.
Okay. And that happens?
I don't.
I was going to say there'll be people like, can I have a picture, please? Like, whilst we're waiting, just because I'm going for the same role.
If I don't have a time, I'm not going.
Fair. That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
So what would you say, what would you say is one thing that people think about like the acting career that's not true, like it's not even a reality? Because I feel like there's a perception. Is there anything you can think that people always think this, but it's really not the case?
That is bare money.
Okay. Just
because you're on TV, people think you've got lots of money. Most of the time when the TV show comes on, I've already spent the money.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I've spent the savings. I'm back on the streets.
So would you say that's the same for like movie productions as well?
Yes, it depends on the volume of work you're getting. I mean, if you're John Boyega, that's not going to be a problem for you.
Because that Star Wars pops off.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
But then if you're like regular Joe, there's going to be, the perception that because you're on telly, and I don't know why, it's a wild perception that if you're on telly, you have money.
That's the world we live in.
That is not the case. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, the telly production comes on when the money's already spent.
It's gone.
And it depends on how much you've got. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's one thing. People think because you're on TV,
everyone's calling you
you've got extra money to just.
Do you know basically, I tried to pay EE and that, but they tried to bounce the direct debit. Can you lend me?
The more money you make, the more things you've got to pay for.
110.
Do you know what I mean? And you've got a life of your own, but people
100%.
Think that because you just got money coming out of your ass,
that's fair.
which is
that's
not
fair.
true.
I mean, and it's real life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you say is like something that you wish you had known when you started 10 years ago that would have like accelerated your career or just like made it like or improved it?
My career or my life? Because I said already, for my life, I would have had a job.
No, okay, no, career.
Career.
Yeah, let's talk career.
That it's not my fault if I don't get a job.
Do you feel that way?
100%.
So you feel like you haven't performed versus it's their decision?
Yes. So
that's a bit hard mentally.
Very hard. Starting up, I always felt that it was like a reflection of me. I felt like I was inadequate. I felt like I wasn't a good actor when I wouldn't get a role. Mm-hmm. But as time went on and I started to understand the industry more, there are a lot of factors that go into actually booking a job. Sometimes an actor will not get a job because they're taller than the person they're supposed to be in a scene with. So
nothing you can do about that.
Do you know what I mean? If you're in a scene with Superman and you're hencher than Superman, you can't get a job.
Or stilettos.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like little things. If you're too pretty, if you're pretty than the main character, it's not gonna run.
Okay.
Because the main character needs to be
the star
of the show. So there's so many little factors that go into it that are not a reflection of your ability. Mm-hmm. So if I had known that earlier on in my career, I would not have gone through the personal, mental, and emotional torture.
But you still push through, which is strong.
That is
a
testament of faith and the support
sure.
system that I had that kept me
real,
going. Because I gave up multiple times.
You told me no 50 times. Yo, deuces, bruv. I'ma see you when I'm on top. I'll just start kicking signs down. Like, bro, come off, bruv. What do you mean? You'll be auditioning for me. I'll be losing. I'll be doing too much. Like, they'll be like, all right, he's never coming back.
He's never gonna work in this industry again.
His career's over. So how about, so I guess at the moment, like, how do you continually train yourself and continue to learn in the industry? Like, what are you doing kind of outside of being in a role? Like, how do you kind of keep on top of it?
I would hope, like, I wish I could do classes. I actually
as in learn, literally.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's like a muscle, you know, you have to keep working at it. I do feel like if I haven't done any acting stuff or any auditions in a while, I get a bit frustrated because I feel like I can't act anymore. So I think it's something that you
just get on a train and bite someone up.
But this is 2020, boy.
Yeah,
I could get sparked.
It's a bit risky.
And then they'd film it.
And then they would as well.
So look at this.
After she was on I May Destroy You, what are you thinking? Talking crap about past you the newspaper. You got him mad.
Listen, life is different.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I would say training I think it's imperative, and I would love to train more if I had the opportunity and the time.
Do they have like online courses potentially? It's not the same thing.
I don't know how you're going to do. I haven't done a class in ages because thankfully I've been practically on the job. But then I do regular tapes, auditions. So I'm constantly still always working, like I say, 2 or 3 a week, sometimes more. But, you know, still working that muscle. And I think that's imperative. If you seriously want to do it, I would say train, like formally to an extent. And I don't mean formal as in drama school. I'm not telling nobody to go pay 9K, or I don't go into how much is it now? Probably about 18.
I couldn't even tell you.
I wouldn't say you don't have to do that. There are many other options, but I would say definitely train to learn how to release yourself from yourself. And some of those techniques are only taught with actual practitioners.
No, that makes sense.
So I would say training is imperative.
Okay, quick sidestep.
Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time when you're not working?
I spend time with family and friends. I watch a lot of TV shows. I eat a lot. What else do I do? I spend a lot of time in church, but that's not a spare time thing. That is
regular.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm quite consumed actually with that. Mostly I'm a family person, family oriented, family and friends people. If I have time, I'm spending it enjoying people's, you know, my family and my loved ones' times. What else do I do? I think I'm slow key into fitness as well. I wish I had more hobbies, but my work takes up
that's fair.
a lot of my time.
Fair. I think over time people
Yeah.
They kind of discover things they like to enjoy, or may, you know.
I do enjoy a lot of stuff, but do I have the time?
Okay, well, you got to find the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a struggle.
Yeah, no, it is a struggle. It is, but you got.
Because if it's making money, I'm gonna choose it first.
It makes complete sense. That makes sense. I'm not going to be the one to tell you.
Fam, I do voiceovers as well, actually.
For like cartoons.
I did my first cartoon actually a couple of weeks ago.
Cool.
I do audiobooks as well.
Cool.
I think I have about 9
wow,
now.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I do other stuff.
You're like, look at my.
I do voiceovers. I enjoy voiceovers and my audiobooks. My audiobooks are my thing. So
your books or like?
No, I have not written any yet.
Okay, cool.
I would love to write a book. I think I will. I intend to go into publishing at some point.
Cool.
But anyways, grand dreams.
Goals.
It's kind of all kind of interconnected as well, because I also want to start going into more the production side. So yeah, executive producing, working with writers and producing. So because I'm not going to be acting forever. So we need to also
figure it out.
Do you know what I mean?
Figure it out.
We're gonna get them checked.
No, I feel you. That's fair. Okay, so can you what's would you say your favorite memory from set is, or a good story from like just those days on set?
This one I remember, and I was thinking about it the other day when I was washing dishes, and I felt so stupid. So when you're drinking on set, if there's any alcohol related stuff,
I'm there.
It's never alcohol.
Oh, it's like slur or something.
It's always some
Flemish.
madness. They will mix the colours, the drip. It's not cute.
What do you mean? So it's actually non-alcoholic?
It's non-alcoholic. Only music videos do people drink real alcohol.
They're trying to set you up and put
Listen,
something else.
I need to do a music video one day, you know. It's going to be tasteful, but I'm good, innit? Whoever wants to do...
That's a cool...
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I see Stormzy does the little films.
Yeah.
Burner, what's good?
You're ready,
Whiskey.
You're right, yeah, I'm there.
I could do, if you want to do a short film music video, I'm there. And let me have a lick with Henny on the side. So yeah, I remember we were filming Bad Education, the movie, and we were in Cornwall. And that was a bizarre experience as well, being like, there was no black people around us, and I literally was the only black in the village, me and the mixed race boy later. So I was always on edge anyway. But I remember we were filming in this horrible little room, and there was on set, you know, the miniature bottles of like Bacardi and all that stuff. Cool. There was like a whole set of it. So we had been like us, like the cast who play the kids. We were like, oh, can we take those? And the set guys were like, yeah, of course you can. And we took it. Now, I think we had a day off the next day. So we went into one of our rooms because we were in this hotel for like 6 weeks. So we all went into one person's room and we were like, oh, mixing the drinks, feeling like we got some free alcohol, cute. And one of us like, is this water?
No.
Mate, water.
They are killing us.
I will never forget. So we were fuming because we were like, did he know that we didn't know it wasn't real alcohol?
They couldn't even give man a duty free.
A little nothing.
So it's just to make sure that you don't come messing up.
I don't even know what it was.
Oh, wow.
It was so embarrassing.
That's so business.
I remember the next day when we got onto set, we were all like, not looking at him because we were so embarrassed that we actually asked him for it, and he gave it to us.
It's so business. It's just too sick. Basically, it's just like these actors. We're not even gonna let them risk going and messing up this thing. You're gonna go.
They're not even thinking about it because it's cheaper for them, innit? They can't go and buy actual alcohol, so they just like mix whatever, and it's cheaper because then they keep it around for however they want. But I think they just looked at us and thought, these little idiots.
I'm suing someone.
Free alcohol.
What would you? Have you got any exciting projects coming up?
I guess
maybe we've heard about some US moves.
Well, we're always talking about the States.
Hey, listen.
But I can't.
I'm about to go find that when the US open up, I'm gonna find your Hollywood star, man. It's coming.
What do you mean? When I went to LA, I prayed on it prophetically. Of course. I said, Father, one of these tats is gonna be
Make
my
sure
own.
you have to invite me for the thingy, you know.
You and how many thousand people?
No, we come so.
You came late to the party still, you
know. no. It's been with us already. No.
How many people are telling me that already?
No, they need to chill.
Everyone wants. I have like 5,000 people on my acceptance speech when I get my Oscar.
They gotta be chilling. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Them ones. So if people wanted to become, so as I said at the start, I think there's a number of people that want to get into the industry.
Yeah.
And this is what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And I think they've probably seen more people fall at hurdles than not.
Yeah.
Right. So what would you say, like, what would you advise people that want to get into this, right? Regardless of age or where they are in their life. If you want to say, for example, I want to say, I'm trying to be the next Harvey. Mm-hmm. What would you advise I do? Like, I would
say I don't know how, but if you know that this is what you're supposed to do, and it's one of those where you say, if you know, you know. Mm-hmm. But if you really feel it, keep at it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Keep going.
Keep at what though? So like go out, get an agency.
Everything.
Like auditioning. Okay.
Everything. Keep going. Mm-hmm. Keep going because there's so many hurdles. Yep. So many hurdles. Mentally, physically, emotionally. So many hurdles. But keep going. If you know it's what you're supposed to do, if you know it's your purpose, that's the main thing. Mm-hmm. Keep going regardless of the situation.
Yeah, cool. That's dope. All right, so as part of this podcast, we ask 5 lend me a fiver quick fire questions.
Oh God, I hate these.
You got 10 seconds, which is like feels like an age to answer for me.
Okay.
Because people take long. So I'm like, sorry. So if you like 10 seconds to answer each question, 5 questions, and they're pretty straightforward. It's just the first thing that comes to your head. If it's wrong, we're gonna laugh. If it's funny,
I don't even trust myself, you know.
No, that's all good. It's all good. All right,
I'll go concentrate. I'll go concentrate.
Tell me when.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hitting 10 because I don't have a buzzer.
Oh,
like, come on.
You stress me out. I would chuck this thing in your head if you had a buzzer, you know.
Sure, relax. Hausa. Okay, relax. All right, so one thing that you can't live without.
My phone.
You're an Instagram person, yeah?
Not. Yeah.
I'm sidetracking.
Yeah, don't. This is not.
Okay,
not a question. Don't do me like that.
We'll talk about it.
Don't bait me out of my social media habits.
Okay. One thing you need to be successful.
My Bible.
One thing that brings you happiness.
Food.
Lovely. Pounded yam. Yeah.
I eat healthy.
Okay, don't diss me. Don't do that.
That's a treat. Pounded yam is a treat.
Okay, fair enough.
Our bodies don't allow us to eat.
You're right. I think I'm still sleeping from the last time I had that. I'm still sleeping now. All right. If you had one wish, what would it be? I feel like this is the hardest question for people.
World peace.
Oh no, she didn't. Oh no. I feel like it's got to be a forfeit for this answer.
Woo! World peace, legit.
Look at my mouth. It's not even going to close.
Legit though.
World peace, what does that even mean?
Like everybody is calm, bro.
What do you mean?
Like
calm.
there's
This
no
is
fighting about money. There's no dictators. There's no unfair treatment. Everyone's
bliss.
Good. But when that happens, Jesus is coming.
Wow.
So
you just want to be walking around smiling with everyone.
Low key.
So London Tube ain't really for you.
Fam.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I live on the tube.
That's really
I live on the tube.
That's not really for you.
What can you do?
Okay, fair enough. And then the last one.
I'm quite good at this actually.
All right. One thing you would advise a younger version of you. I think we've covered this slightly, but
relax, babes. God's got you.
I like it. All right. Where can the listeners and the watchers connect with you? Where can they kind of see your stuff, your material, kind of see more and hear more and reach out if they need to?
Well, my social media, Instagram.
We'll put that on there, by the way.
It's all my name, Weruche Opia. I've got a few projects on Netflix. I think about 4.
Jeez.
And Google is your friend.
Google is always your friend. Google's your friend,
So,
though. Jay-Z said it first.
That's a plug, isn't it?
No, I just said Google's. I said Jay-Z said it first.
Google is your friend, but yeah.
Okay, cool. And then one last thing.
Yes.
I said there was the last thing.
You said it like 3 times. I don't trust you Nigerians.
No, but this is literally the outro, though. Like, can you lend me a $5, though?
No.
You
got mad, bro. Hey, lend me a $5, bruv. Look at your Balenciagas and your Puma tracksuit. Can I have a $5?
Gosh. The rejection is so real.
Can I have a $5, please?
It's too real.
Hey, let me hold £5, bruv.
I'm just like, allow me, man.
Hey, let me hold a pound. Let me hold a pound. Give me
I don't think I even got £5 because that's not the aim.
Because he has cards, American Express. He's got the credit cards. I have a card machine in my bag. What would you do if I got a card machine out of my bag right now?
But I feel like I need to invest in a card machine because a lot of people, even though they're out here running the game, successful, they're trying to.
Why would you need a card machine?
Fivers. So my $5. What are you talking about? We're going to figure this out, though.
Legit,
believe me,
if you had a card machine here...
You would pin it?
Low-key, I would.
Contactless, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to figure that out.
But the principle of it, I would actually take a $5 from you. Because it's you.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to figure something out with American Express. It's my guys.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Well, would you look at that?
Let's see if we can get a machine going.
Would you look at that? I was only joking.
There we go.
But he's got the blood.
No, all good. No, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks
I feel
for having
like
me.
There's been so much insight into the journey that you've had. I think it's very inspirational to kind of how you started your career, the perseverance, and where you are today. And as I said, the accolades, the shows that you're in and get in, and how, I mean, you're probably walking down the street like, hey, oh my gosh. Like,
no, actually.
You're low-key.
Thank God for Corona because I wear my mask.
Oh, you're chilling, yeah. Which is dope, but it's amazing just to in terms of that, that person, school in South London and so on, and then now you're all over everyone's TVs in the UK and in the US doing big auditions. I think it's amazing. So I appreciate you giving up your time.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. Can you, as I said at the start, subscribe. Also add a comment for what more you want to see. And we'll try to share as much as we can for how people's journeys and also the similar struggles that people face, and you just got to keep pushing, but we'll get there. 1.
Ayo, what you cooking?